always say I'm a New Yorker if I'm anything, and I consider my story a New York story, fundamentally. My name is Eric Haze. I came up with the name Haze when I was about 12. I'm an artist who's been surfing different mediums for a number of decades now. We were all sort of thrashing around in the dark, doing our thing as kids and criminals. Obviously, as a young kid and a graffiti artist trying to come up, it was all about working on your style and getting to the point where you had enough style to gain the respect of your peers. It was about 1979 when I was 18 when the first Village Voice article came out announcing graffiti coming above ground. The lights in the stadium went on, and all of a sudden, as teenagers, we had to face and make a lot of quick decisions. A baptism of fire in the art world, if you will. Went out to LA to carve away a more mindful space, but that environment didn't inform me as an artist or as a person the way I ultimately needed to be. One of the last things I produced before I left for California was the Tommy Boy logo in '89. The typesetting was traditional IBM Linotronic that I had to send out for, and everything was, you know, cut and pasted and retouched on photostat. When I delivered the logo, Tommy Silverman said, "Look, nice job, very happy with it, but I gotta tell you something. You need to get with the computer. You're charging me for your time, and the computer's about to radically turn the notion of time on its head, and the world's gonna pass you by if you don't get with it." Through the 90s into the new millennium, especially when I was primarily focused on running and designing a clothing company, the demands of that business had me on the computer more and more and more. I found myself increasingly sort of going down this rabbit hole of design production instead of how things happen organically to me. I have a voice inside me that always says, if I'm getting bored, everyone else will too. And I got to that feeling with a computer and computer-aided design and graphics. I moved back to New York, the catchphrase was rolling up my sleeves and doing it the old-fashioned way. From that point on, I've returned to a different methodology that brought me full circle. There's a million things one can do on a computer, but there's a uniqueness everybody owns in their own hand style that I sort of focus back on over time. There are pieces in my archives that sort of blow my mind that I still have them. This is my holy grail. It was part of my entrance exam for the High School of Art and Design, so I made this in 8th grade. And it says age 12, place, home, no supervision, title, explosion, medium magic markers. This was a 12-color Niji Pilot set that I bought with the drum set money, and this one goes to the grave with me. You know, there's a difference between what I'm proud of because I consider it important and stuff that just moves me that may not hold any significance for other people. Beastie Boys Check Your Head cover is probably one of the more important things I've done in my career. I do a good job designing someone's album cover. It's still not on me whether the album cover goes to 10 million hands or none. Picked up a paintbrush about 10 years ago with serious intentions to practice my kung fu to the extent that I could be in the arena with anybody, anywhere, anytime. I'm waiting for the right time and opportunity and space to really drop a collection of all new work in a style people haven't seen from me yet. That's the work that's feeding my soul the most right now. the early 80s and when Keith and John and we were all sort of making our bones, art was the hot medium. Creatives wanted to be painters and indie business people wanted to open galleries or promote artists. That was the focal point sort of culturally for a while. We entered this hip-hop era where music became the hot medium. Creatives wanted to be rappers or start groups, and independent business people want to start labels. I was fortunately able to transition with that medium and become part of the music world as an artist. You know, because I designed album covers, people assumed I was like a music head. I wasn't the DJ, I wasn't the A&R guy. Beats and sounds were someone else's expertise, and it was my role to sort of put a visual language on someone else's audio experience. I'm a boxing fan, and one of the great champions, Bernard Hopkins, there was an interview once that really moved me where they said, well, you know, you've got the champion fights coming up. How are you training for this fight? And he said, training for this fight? Man, if you want to be a champion, you got to train every day like you're going to fight anyone, anywhere tomorrow and be ready. I still consider the unknown the most exciting thing about what I do. That's the mentality that sort of keeps me what I call practicing my Kung Fu. It was the title of a documentary I was in, was it 35 years ago now? But I still consider the term Style Wars to be at the heart of it all. Every day is a new opportunity to win the Style Wars.